You ever been riding your bike? You're just cruising down the bike trail. You're going around some old folks, being careful. You're going around some couples with their little dogs, and all of a sudden you hear, psst. Oh no, I got a flat tire. So what now? You're gonna walk 5 miles back to the house, back to the car? You know, if you were smart, you would have put yourself together a saddlebag. You could throw in a few inner tubes, a hand pump, a park tool, and even one of them little compressed air doohickeys so you can pump that inner tube up real quick. Where's it at? Adam's Bicycle Shop in New Lenox. POD Bike Shop is located at 12715 Old Plank Drive, New Lenox, Illinois 60451. So check this out. You go up there today and ask him for some parts and accessories, and he's going to give you 15% off just by mentioning P Dallas. That's right, P Dallas for 15% off parts and accessories over at Adam's Bicycle Shop in New Lenox. POD Bike Shop, man, is where it's at. Go on over and get your stuff. He's got brand new bicycles, recumbents, hybrids, electric assists, you name it. This is where you're going to get yourself a bicycle and parts. Welcome to the Peace and Music Podcast. I'm your host, P. Dallas, and today I've got a very, very special guest, Skyping all the way from Indonesia, a man who has performed at a show I booked and performed at the Elbow Room in Chicago. He has several solo albums available on Spotify and iTunes and all of that. We've collaborated together on a song called The Savior. He has a GoFundMe campaign with his fiance called Live in Love. The amazing Michael Chorvat. Peace and Music Podcast. Welcome to the Peace and Music Podcast, Mike. It's really great to talk to you. How's things been?
Things are good. I'm living in Indonesia right now, which is a big change. I've been living in Bandung, West Java for the past year.
Wow. So what brings you out there?
Actually, my fiance, she got a scholarship, a dance scholarship, to learn traditional Sundanese dance. And so she's been studying and she's done now. And we're just enjoying our time here, what's left of it. So
That's super awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. So I was doing a little research, just kind of digging through your stuff, and I noticed you have an active campaign at GoFundMe with her as well, correct?
Yeah,
Can you
that's
tell me
still
a little
going
bit
on.
about that project?
Yeah, so the GoFundMe campaign is we have a band together called In Love, and it's a duo, just the two of us. And, we have this mission with our band to just bring more joy and love and all that good stuff into the world. And we want to do it through our music, with music videos and different media, and just, sharing what we have to offer. And so, we have a GoFundMe campaign right now, and that's been going on. And we actually have already funded our album, and we funded the first music video as well. So we're looking to get now, it's kind of been like this, it started as one thing, and it's like keeps shifting into new things as we progress kind of on our spiritual path, and we keep
Mm-hmm.
learning. And so now it's become, since we were able to fund both those, because everything is cheaper in Indonesia, so we're able to get our album mixed for like probably 1/10 of the price that it would be in the US.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty
and
awesome.
just and just as high quality, if not
Yeah.
better. And then also, music videos are a lot cheaper to make here. Again, about the same, like maybe 1/10 of the price. So it's kind of modified what our campaign has been, and we're able to do more now. And
Yeah,
so we're looking to fund like all of our singles from our album, which is creating 4 more music videos. And
that's
so that's
super awesome.
exciting. Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
super.
it's a whole different world when you leave the US. There's all these opportunities that present themselves that wouldn't have been there, if you didn't.
Hmm. I talk to many of my musician friends, and we talk about like what we might actually do if we had more of an open bag, or like more of, just more funding for our projects, or if projects were cheaper for us to do things.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
it's really amazing to be over there and to have those opportunities.
Hmm.
And then you're also meeting all these new people in that same industry that is just going to connect, more people to your network and circle.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening for sure. I'm meeting lots of very talented musicians and very talented songwriters, and some of them are starting to ask me actually to write songs in English for them because they have the music, but they don't know how to write songs in English. So
Yeah. Like
they've been
how do
starting
you
to ask for my help.
it's like how
Huh?
do you say certain words, and how do you put together certain sentences where it makes sense and that sort of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really.
because a lot of times the translation isn't right.
Hmm.
So, yeah, some of my friends have already asked me to make sure that if they translate words into English, that it's right.
Hmm.
So,
So, speaking of writing songs or translating songs, more along the lines of writing songs, I saw that you
uh,
have a site up that you offer writing songs for people.
oh
And
yeah,
is that
yeah.
something you've been doing out there, or when did that start?
That started actually in Chicago a few years ago. It's an old friend from like way back in the day from my old band. Actually, we played the first time at Metro in Chicago with this band called Spitalfield. The singer of the band decided to start this website that allows, yeah, songwriters to accept, requests from people who want songs written about either like a specific subject where they want a song written for someone or a song written for themselves, or they want you to do a cover song or something like that. And so, yeah, so I've been on that site for a few years now.
So has that been something that you would recommend to others? How has that experience been for you?
It's been cool. I mean, I haven't gotten like a ton, I would say like a ton of work from it yet. Um, but the one experience I did have on it was really cool. Someone asked me to write, or not write, but asked me to record a version of the Snoopy Christmas song
Okay.
for them, which was really fun.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and it was just out of nowhere. Like I haven't really promoted myself on that website,
Hmm.
and someone just found me on there and
Well, yeah, when I was
asked
looking
me to do
for it, I
that.
just happened to see it, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I've been building my own. I've been coding my own website, trying to get it to have everything as like kind of a portfolio and stuff, and having like
Yeah.
subscription bases and stuff like that. And one of the things I wanted to add to one of the VIP packages was the ability to make a song for people, and I couldn't quite figure out how to make it work. And then I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, this is like right up that alley. Like it's parallel, and it actually is like a better idea than what I was trying to implement in my thing." So it was really cool to see that, because I was like, oh, we're right on the same page here of,
Uh-huh.
I mean, obviously someone else thought of that much earlier than I did, but it's obviously along the same lines of like when you're trying to figure out how to make a living in this industry, you start
Hmm.
branching out, and you start finding whatever way you can bring in extra revenue. And so
Yeah,
just that
totally.
thought process, I think, creates that idea.
Yeah, and it's so personal and it's so cool. Like, imagine having your own song. That's,
Yeah.
you didn't have to write, like maybe you love music, but you're not creative in that way.
Hmm.
You get to have this song that you can listen to whenever you want or share with whoever you want.
Yeah.
And it's, really special. So I think it's an amazing idea.
Yeah, I've had one experience where I've wrote a song for somebody. It was a motorcycle association that was they were doing a song called Just Ride, and so I mean, shout out to World of Soul. That was the organization, and they just, he basically gave me a list of words and like a little bit of like maybe a poem that he had put together, and I
Uh-huh.
extended on it and put it into a song with an instrumental track that I was from a producer I was working with that was on that same path of the association, and it was just an amazing experience to do that because it was like you really get a chance to like step outside of your own creative space and use what somebody else is looking for and try to make it, it's a different type of art. It was a really interesting experience.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
it's
saw you have
always
like 4 albums now.
yeah, just
Online,
four.
or at least on digitally all in one place on like Bandcamp and those other sites.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
when I got into you, I think the only album I have is The Light, and it was such an awesome album.
Thank
So I'm
you.
really looking forward to hearing some of the other ones I've kind of slipped behind. But I was really surprised to see how much has come since then, because I remember seeing you guys funding one of the projects, and being just in a tight spot to not be able to help out with that. But I had no idea of the other two, so I was like, oh wow, like I'm really glad to see that he's still grinding and it's
Yeah,
still things being made and stuff. It's
yeah,
always
yeah. I'm
nice.
still
So,
definitely still going, and yeah, I just even since I got to Indonesia, I don't know, something happened. Maybe like I don't even know what it was. Actually, I do know what it was. Um, so in 2017 to 2018, I did a project recording one song a week for an entire year.
yeah.
And that just forced me to have to write a song every week. So then by the end of the year, it just became so natural that every time I sat down with my guitar with the intention of writing a song, lo and behold, a song would come through, and it
Yeah.
wouldn't just, it wouldn't take days to write or weeks to write or months to write. It would come through in maybe like 15 minutes to an hour. And that's been the case ever since I did that project. And actually, since I've been in Indonesia, I've written over 30 songs.
Wow. So are you just kind of
So,
banking and just getting them ready to maybe bring to a studio later on? Like what do you do with those?
yeah, my plan is to record them all at my home studio.
Okay.
And what I'm really interested in now, and at this point in my music career, is music licensing and syncing my music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing a bunch of research with that and, watching a bunch of webinars, listening to podcasts like this one, and just figuring out how to do that because that's not really a market that I've tapped into much
Hmm.
before.
Have
So,
you had any placements thus far?
yeah, actually, in my old band, Treaty of Paris, we had some placements on MTV back in the day.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah, that
Yeah, I was like on Pimp My Ride and
uh,
we were
before the bottom fell out of the industry in that regard.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So now it's like, from the research I've been doing, it's a whole different industry. And actually, music licensing is not the music industry. It's the movie industry and
yeah,
it's the
absolutely.
TV industry
And that's
and it's the video
actually
game
become
industry.
those industries for music have become like more of the mainstream revenue. I mean, you can
Yeah.
do bring in merch and that sort of thing, but if you can get placements, especially in non-exclusive placements, you can just
Hmm.
find places over and over to put your stuff. That's the way to go. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
looking into that myself, but it's it's like like because I've been on Reverb Nation for a very long time, and at one point or another, I was going through all their listings and trying to get placements that way, and it was
Uh-huh.
never really fruitful through them. But I did do a lot of research in how to present myself and all of
Hmm.
that. So I've been kind of building all of that. So next time I hit it, they're gonna see a full, a nice place to find everything, and everything will be
Yeah.
ready just to showcase like all of the different projects. It's like sometimes we do so much and we have so many, we have our fingers in so many different pots that like we forget what all maybe we've accomplished, and so
Hmm.
just to kind of bring it back and be like, okay, I have the podcast and I have these products and I have this music and these videos and this game, and you just kind of put it all in one spot, and you have a better understanding. It's like, okay, I've done all of this, and here's a professional way to show you when I go and I approach you to put a song in your movie and you look at me, it's not going to just be a Reverb Nation profile or a Facebook page or a SoundCloud link. Like they can go to
Uh-huh.
all that, but like to have a real solid base, I just kept finding that that the websites kept changing too much, and how you get your interaction and all of that. And so I figured like you still kind of have to be part of all of that, but it really should be bringing you to your main place. And so I'm going back to those roots of trying
Yeah,
to build me.
for sure. Yeah.
So you've been in Indonesia for how long now?
It will be a year. Actually, it's a year now.
Oh,
Like pretty much
wow.
exactly a year. Yeah.
So are
Yeah.
you fluent in anything
I
besides
I
English?
wish. I wish I
Yeah.
was. No, like um it just hasn't been my focus. I know a little bit of Indonesian, and there's actually the thing is there's seriously like 1,000 different languages in Indonesia because there's 17,000 islands.
Oh, so many of them have their
So
own dialects and
yeah, and the
complete
island I'm
different
on is a really big island, yet it has, I would say, probably like maybe 100 different dialects just on this one island. So
So how does how do those language barriers, how for you
it,
obviously as a foreign person there, but even just between each other, how does that affect things, and like what do you notice from that?
well, what's interesting is a lot of people here can understand English, but they may not be able to speak it, or they're scared to speak it because they're scared of like speaking it wrong.
Mm,
And then there's people who are like who speak English really well here.
okay.
And what I've found is that the language really isn't a barrier. It's weird. You think it would be, but like you're able to still interact with people like sometimes even on a really deep level without words. And so it's amazing to see how words aren't always necessary to have like deeper connections with people, and just you can say a little but like your actions speak everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really cool to witness that.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'm like, do I even want to know the language? Because then
It kind of breaks
you
that
know, it's
magic a little
like
bit.
when you're in, a restaurant or something, and you can hear everybody talking. Well, here it's like you hear the chatter, but you can't understand it. So you can be more present with who, like, you're not listening in on other people. You can be more present. So yeah, like I do want to learn the language because I, I do want to be able to have a conversation with people in their language. And it's just like challenging for me to learn a language. I mean, I didn't even do well in my language classes in high school, like Spanish. So for me to learn a language that's like really, really different,
Mm-hmm. It
than
takes a lot of time.
English is hard.
think
Yeah,
about how long you've been playing guitar. Like I look at instruments as a language, and it's like
exactly.
you just pick it up and you're making complete sentences. You know what I mean? Like it
I
takes
mean,
a
some
while.
people can.
Yeah.
Like what's funny is that Indonesian is supposed to be one of the easiest languages to learn. Um, Yet it's still like to me the to be able to read the words and to be able to pronounce things correctly is is definitely
Yeah.
challenging, and they speak so fast, you know.
Uh-huh.
So,
I'm sure that other countries say the same thing when they hear two Americans bickering back and forth, you know?
oh yeah, they're always like, "Can you speak slower?" Like if they can understand you, they're like, "Speak slower."
So
So,
are you still practicing Reiki?
I am, yeah, I am actually, and I discovered a new path of Reiki out here, which is really awesome. It's called Reiki Tumo,
Tumo?
and Reiki Tumo, yeah, which is Reiki mixed with Kundalini.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's kind of like this whole path of the heart that I've been on. And yeah, it includes like this path includes Reiki, and it includes open heart meditation, which has been really powerful in my life. And I discovered it here, which is the most amazing thing.
It is because you've already been on that path for quite a while, and that's one of the things that I that has inspired me about your music is that there is a spiritual quality to it, and it's refreshing because you don't see much of that, I feel.
Yeah, yeah. People tell me that a lot. They're like, I don't hear music or people singing about the things that you're singing about really ever.
Hmm.
So, and um, to me, it's like the only thing I can write about or sing about at this point. You know, there's nothing else that wants to come through me besides, you know, like to me, I can write so many songs now because I found the direct channel to my heart, which allows these songs to come through.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's just it's kind of one of those things that I my life took a big turn around age what was it, 28.
Hmm.
So actually with my mom's passing is what
Yeah.
led me to discover Reiki, which then led me on my whole spiritual awakening, and to where I am now. It's just been like this over 10-year journey that's still continuing and is never going to stop. So, but
It's
yeah, it kind of changed. It completely changed my music and what I wrote about.
That was exactly what I was going to say is that it's amazing how Reiki has intertwined with your music, basically changing how and what you create about.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool. Like, there's not many things that will change like people's style and like how they approach things, like and how they,
Hmm.
you know, create, at their essence. And so that's a powerful tool.
Yeah, what's cool about Reiki is that whenever you're treating someone or treating yourself, it's like this direct connection to God, basically, and to the universal life force and universal energy. And so when that comes through you and comes into you, it really sparks creativity. And it, it may not have the same effect on everyone, but it had the effect on me where it completely transformed, who I am.
Hmm. So have you been doing any shows or performing out there?
Yeah, actually, we've been performing in our band in Lev, and we've had some amazing experiences out here. I mean, I believe it was only maybe like 2 weeks after I got here, we played a festival, which Amanda had met someone at her school, and they invited her to play at their village festival. Well, we're thinking it's going to be like this small village. We show up, it's like in the city, and it's like 2,000 people.
Awesome.
So suddenly, and they had never heard us, and they invited us to play. So we went up there and shared one song for like thousands of people, and it was
Yeah.
just incredible. And we've had like similar experiences since, where we're just like magically whisked away to these places, even playing on different islands in Indonesia. And they'll like pay for your hotel, and they'll pay for all your food
Wow.
and yeah, your flight and everything, and you'll just go and play this huge festival somewhere to people
That's awesome.
who have never heard you, and treat you like a celebrity.
Have you
Because
ever done shows on that size before or bigger?
yeah, not out of the country, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's got to be pretty amazing, especially just to have that opportunity being like, because I feel like in America at least, those opportunities are harder to just receive, just out of the blue like that,
Yeah,
like
it's different here for sure, the way that the music industry operates, and um, the way that people receive you, because you're to them like you're a foreigner, and
you're all the way
especially
in the
from the
place.
U.S. You know,
Yeah,
they love the U.S. here. They love it.
yeah,
They
yeah.
love Hollywood. They love the music from the U.S. So you come here, and you're literally, people don't even know you, but they'll see you on the street and treat you like a celebrity. They want to take pictures with you.
Mm.
So when you play a show in front of them, it's the same thing. They're screaming, like
Yeah.
they hear you
Like
sing your
like
first
it's like
note,
the
and they're like
50s.
screaming. Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like
the
the Beatles.
50s where the girls were losing their minds and like,
Yeah.
oh,
But it's
that's a
interesting here because it's like a big Muslim culture. So like you have in your mind that the people, I don't know, I think, with what we're taught with media in the US through the media, like I think people have a fear of like the Muslim culture, and
yeah, yeah.
it's crazy because you get here and they are the kindest, most generous people you will ever meet in your life.
Well,
And so,
I heard a good statistic that was like, if Muslims really wanted to like, if they were really all like angry, violent people, they make up the majority of all religion,
of all
and so
religion, yeah.
and so like if they really wanted like it would be more issues than it is if it was really that. It's just it comes down to bad people in every religion. You can't just
Exactly.
blame their whole religion for that.
There's always the extremists. So,
Mhm,
and remember, the extremists are a very, very small percentage of
mhm,
a religion.
mhm,
So the mass majority are not like the extremists at all. But that's what makes the media, and so
mhm.
that's how people perceive us, certain religions to be. And it's sad because it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that at all. I
So
mean,
how
they're
do you
so
feel
happy. They're so happy
like
here.
like being away from the media over here and like being I mean
Yeah.
obviously you probably can't just turn on the news and understand what they're saying on the media, but do you feel like it's as clickbaity? Do you feel like it's as much about the title and just getting people to view even if it's not accurate or blown out of proportion?
To me, media is only about creating fear in people,
Yeah.
and
Even if it's over there, it's just that's what that is.
even here, yeah, it's similar, but there's um, I don't watch the news here either, because I just don't watch the news because I don't want something that, if the news was all like the positive things going on in the world, I would totally watch it.
I'm surprised there's not at least one channel that's like, here's all the good stuff. There's not one.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
That's kind
there.
of
It's like
interesting,
here. It's
actually.
like bam, bam, bam. Here's all the bad stuff, bad stuff, bad stuff. Then like 1 minute of something good.
Yeah. Surrounded by a whole
In
bunch
like
of
an hour. Yeah.
yeah,
So I just choose not to put that energy into my life, and I
I,
choose to focus on the positive things, because the positive things are what's gonna create transformation and a shift in the world. if we focus on the negative things, we're only going to stay in the negative. So
Mm-hmm. And I feel like even social media is along the same lines. It's like it's all become part of this, like, just make people upset and angry and afraid.
yeah,
It's very, I don't know. I like, you know, as a musician, like I see a lot of people's like flight from social media. As a musician, it's hard to get out of it, but or an entertainer in general. But like as a
yeah,
regular person, I feel like, and a lot of times I'm like, why am I even on some of these sites that are just like selling all your information? And you know, it's really a weird world where like you sign
it
away like
is.
your form to a licensed agreement to use a website. You know.
I know you like Google one thing because you're curious about it, and then all of a sudden it's being marketed to you,
Yeah.
like to sell it
Yeah.
to you. And it's
Yeah.
just, it's wild how that operates. And yeah, and the thing is though, like if you're an independent artist, the only way for you to get known these days is social media. There's really no other avenue, that's gonna work. So I think that's been me embracing that. It's been challenging for sure at times because there's part of me that wants nothing to do with social media, and then there's part of me that knows it's an amazing way to share,
Hmm.
you know, positive messages. And instead of sharing separation and fear and all that stuff, it's like an opportunity to share positive things. So yeah, that's definitely been a challenge for me, but it's something that I've started to do, is just share more.
Have you found it difficult to separate yourself from some of like maybe the comments or negativity in your feeds and stuff? Like, do you ever
Huh.
fall? Do you ever like succumb to the like the the side of yourself and like be like later on, oh, like I shouldn't have said that or I shouldn't have. Like, do you
Oh
fall to that?
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I still fall for that sometimes. But
Yeah.
it actually, when I put out I don't know if you saw my music video for a song called Baghdad by the Bay. Um,
Gotcha.
but if not, you should check it out. It's
I dab by the
it's
bay.
basically inspired by um, like the Zeitgeist movies. Have you seen those?
I
The
think I saw.
documentaries.
Yeah, I saw something along the lines of it.
So, it's what some people might call a conspiracy theory, but it's what I call truth.
Hmm.
And I made a music video that was kind of like all like those movies put into a music video. So instead, like, I was showing the negative things because I wanted to wake people up to what's going on, like in the US, and
Hmm.
what's been going on for a long time. And actually, yeah, one of my friends from high school who is in the army, because I said some things about all the money spent on the military and things like that. And um, yeah, just some things, opening up things about like drone strikes and things like that.
Hmm.
And uh, yeah, my friend didn't really,
You didn't appreciate it much.
he didn't appreciate any of that. He thought I was focusing too much on, because he was saying how there's positive things that the army does too.
Mhm.
And yeah, I guess that's, my
It's a delicate
perspective.
balance, right?
It's delicate. Yeah, I'm sure, I'm 100% sure there are positive things that the army does.
Mhm.
And, you know, in my mind, the military in the US is way too big and unnecessary.
It's massive. It's, but
So,
it's probably one of the biggest, I guess, industries. Probably one of the, if I had to guess, and I don't know, this is totally off of, no research. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably one of the largest industries in the world.
yeah, it's billions and billions and billions of dollars. So,
It's pretty crazy. But so no, I understand that, but so it's just sometimes you get caught into and you get into your feelings and maybe you're feeling a certain way
yeah,
already and then you see that and then it's like you say something that maybe you do believe, but like if you were in a better mood, maybe you would have just like let whatever made you say that roll off because you're like, this is just gonna create. Well, that's what I
Yeah.
found. It normally just creates more problems, and you're
Yeah, and
like,
again, yeah. And again,
yeah,
it comes back to the fear. Like, basically, that's us having fear. We're scared of
mhm,
what people are going to say to us. We're scared that, how people are going to look at us. Like, but really, it's like we just have to be true to who we are and share who we are. And it's important to have your own opinions, and we don't have to like argue about them.
mhm.
But yeah, points of view and perception are helpful because sometimes it opens up to people, people to things that they wouldn't even think about.
Ideas that just
So
aren't in their circle.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I've definitely fallen in that trap and, succumbed to it even, like it stopped me. That incident kind of like stopped me like sharing that video more, honestly. And
Mhm.
it wasn't until like recently I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna like do like I haven't done it yet, but I just like have been feeling the call to do it, but I'm just like I'm gonna put out like a Facebook ad with that video. And I'm gonna
Well,
share it
because
with
there's
all the
gonna be
people.
some, sorry, there's gonna be
Yeah,
some market to that that's gonna
there
agree
is.
with the mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. There's of course like the people who watch the Zeitgeist movies and other documentaries like that, which they're gonna love it. They're gonna think
Mhm.
it's like the greatest
And
thing and share it with as many
and then
people
the
as
other
they can.
people, they're
So
gonna say some negative stuff, and it's gonna stir the pot and get more
yeah,
attention.
yeah, totally. So either way, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it kind of made me realize that, yeah, I mean, I took what my friend said to heart, and I was like, well, yeah, well, I'll just make sure that if I make the next video I make will focus on something positive
Hmm.
because there's always two sides. Like my most recent album is called "The Darkness Is the Light" because that's like the realization I've had is that the darkness in the world, the negativity, is what actually leads us into more light, into more love. And it's
Hmm.
there to help us learn. That's why it's there. I mean, we can get stuck in it, but really it's like, it's this constant test, like how much love can you share,
Hmm.
or are you going to get caught in the trap of fear and like all this darkness in your life,
Well,
or
back
can
to
you?
that same thing of the circle of like ideas, like until you go through the darkness, you might not have that same perspective to have the same ideas once you
Yeah,
get out of the
exactly.
side.
Exactly. So it's important. It's part of this reality that we live in. So we have to accept it or else.
Hmm. The
I mean, we
balance
don't
and the
have to.
yeah.
It's always a choice, but if we don't accept it, there's a chance that we can get stuck, and stuck
Yeah.
for a long time, maybe the rest of
Because
our
it's
life.
there whether we believe it's there or not. And if
Yeah.
we just choose to be like, oh, like this isn't gonna affect me, then we're gonna suffer the consequences of like inaction. It's like whatever
Yeah,
happens, we're just gonna get hit by it because we're not moving.
totally.
Um,
Yeah,
so
sorry, I gotta plug in my phone. It's gonna die if I don't. There we go.
so how long are you guys gonna be out there?
So we're gonna be out here for um, another, well, let's see, 2.5 months through basically
Awesome.
the end of October. Yeah,
Okay. And then are you
and
coming
then
back to the Chicagoland area or which?
yeah, yeah. Well, we're going back to California first, and then my fiance Amanda has family in Kansas City, so I'm sure we'll go there for a little bit, and then yeah, I want to come to Chicago for maybe I was thinking even maybe like a month.
Oh, nice.
So because it's been a long time since I've seen my family. So
Yeah, I'll catch up with some people.
and it's good to see you, as you are
Yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I tried to get together with our cousin Joe, and it just kind of fell through. But an interesting side note on that is, so I've been dating a girl probably for a little over 6 months or so, and
Uh-huh.
where she works, he ended up getting a job there. So he was like doing his own, like, I guess maybe graphic stuff in the
Oh
company
yeah.
he's working for, and they just happened to like find out that that we had the mutual friend that, it was my cousin working there. So it was
Oh
kind of cool, just
wow.
'cause it's like a small world, you just it continues to get
Totally.
smaller the more people we meet.
Yeah.
How do you
That's
feel about
awesome.
that, like 6 degrees of separation?
It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really true.
I
Even
it's
across
almost
the world, it's true.
I feel like it's less than 6 degrees in most cases. It's like 2 or 3,
Yeah,
and by the time you get to 6, you are literally on the other side of the planet.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how it works. It's a real thing.
it's pretty amazing. There's so much of that like stuff that people just don't know or maybe don't believe or like think it's taboo. Like I feel like Reiki is one of those things. Like even to an extent, like because I went through massage therapy. There's still kind of some like woo woo about it, even though they're both
Yeah.
definitely a proven therapy.
Oh yeah, it's scientifically proven actually.
Yeah.
And what's yeah, what's funny though is I didn't think it was real when I first heard about it.
Hmm.
And it took me experiencing it to believe it. And now I've had so many experiences with energy and channeling energy. It's just like normal. It's just what I do, and it's just life, you know.
What's
So
your
it's
most? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
What's your most powerful experience with energy?
The most powerful experience I had was my friend had like thrown out his back,
Hmm.
and he was super weary about it, but his back was really hurting, so he was kind of in a desperate place. So he asked me to do Reiki on his back, and I said okay. And literally, I did two 15-minute treatments at different times, like maybe a week apart, and pain completely gone, never came back.
Yeah.
And
Huh.
this was like debilitating pain that he was in, where he like couldn't do anything. So
Yeah.
it's like experiences like that like yeah, you can't really explain it, but why it worked or what exactly it did, but you just know that it worked. And he was a believer then, like he's like, yeah, I tell like all my friends about Reiki now. And like what how you helped me. So all it takes is that one experience.
Yeah. So what was your experience?
With what?
Like, what was the experience that made you like a true believer of it?
um well, it was actually our Aunt Mary who
Yeah.
introduced me to Reiki.
Hmm.
It was a similar thing. She treated me for like maybe a 15-minute treatment of just my head and my like upper body. And I remember, like, I'll never forget, I could not stop smiling the rest of the day. Like I smiled when the treatment was over, and then I just could not stop smiling. And I was like, what is that? Like, because I didn't believe her. I was like, what'd you do to me? Like,
What drugs did
how's
you
it?
give
I
me?
just couldn't, my brain could not comprehend how that would be possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually the case. Our brains can't comprehend it yet. Our hearts can, but our brains can't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that I was a believer from that point on. It
That's
just took
awesome.
one time.
So how long from the time you heard about it until that time?
Um, from the time I heard about it, it was maybe like months before.
Oh, okay. So it's
Because she
pretty.
told me about it at first too, but I was like, no, that can't be real. Like,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't wanna, I don't wanna,
So she was the first one
experience
who
that.
told you about it.
Yeah, yeah. And then she just kept being like, come on, just try it. Like, let me give you a treatment. And I was finally like, okay.
Yeah, she was such an amazing person. Her light continues to
Yeah,
shine in such a bright way. It's yeah,
yeah. It's still
I'm really
shining.
glad that It is a shame, but I'm really glad that that a part of her lives on in your practice, and that's changed you in
Yeah,
such a positive way.
yeah. What she gave me was such a gift. That's just something that it's like priceless, like a priceless gift that I can never repay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do you teach it at all, or do you?
Um, I was teaching it before I left California,
Mhm.
and I decided to just, when I got to Indonesia, to just focus on music.
Yeah.
And then I discovered this other form of Reiki here and this other path, and now I don't know when and in the future I would like to teach the open heart meditation and Reiki again in this lineage. Because it's really amazing, and it's been like another, you think, like the spiritual journey is an interesting thing, because you think you're like you've got it, and you like you figure things out, and then like something new comes along and just like totally rocks like everything.
Yeah.
And
Knocks
I
you out
expect
completely.
that to happen again.
Yeah.
you know
Like over and over and over, because it's like
just over and over again.
it's always a new lesson or a new thing to be learned and a new, a new obstacle that you're running into.
Yeah.
And I mean, so even when you like, so a lot of us will just continue running into that same obstacle over and over. We're
Hmm.
not realizing like we've got to get over this obstacle because there's 10 other ones waiting for us. And if we just
Exactly.
get stuck with this one, like we're way
Yeah,
behind.
don't think just because you like got through the one that you don't have to keep that shovel around to like dig yourself out of all the crap that's going to come your way.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really stop coming. It's just, it's how you react to it. It's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it is really, really what I've learned. And
Yeah, that's
still
a
there's times
hard
where I
lesson to learn.
react.
Sorry, what's
Yeah,
that?
still there's times where I react and get really angry about something.
Yeah.
And that anger usually, like, it doesn't stay with me now though. Like, it opens me up to what's blocking me or what's
Ah,
holding me back. And so I look at anger as like an opening,
okay.
the next opening. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us, I feel like, I, from my personal experience, I think I've in the past looked at anger like a wall, like a blockage more than an opening, right? It's like
Well, it
this,
is. Yeah,
yeah.
it is. But beyond the anger is the opening. And
Mhm.
if you can find the root of why you're angry,
You can create yourself a door,
it's
right?
usually not what you're angry about. It's something that
There's another
happened in
root.
your past that you're still holding on to, and most likely it was when you were a child.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, that's like I feel like so many of our problems as adults stem from things from
yeah,
childhood. And really, like a
we're,
lot of it is nothing anyone could have prepared for. Like it's not like a parent not
yeah,
doing their job. It's just life, and it's like, and sometimes maybe it is, parenting or external, like your, so immediate surroundings that maybe directly affect you. But a lot of it literally is just you are gonna go through things as a human it is gonna they're gonna mess you up, and you've got to learn
yeah,
to deal with it and process it and let it go in a way that's healthy and doesn't
yeah,
bring you down.
exactly. Basically, we're big children. I mean, I don't even know if there's a such thing as an adult, because we're just children that have grown bigger, but we're still the same basically.
Yeah. Well, you see
We
that in a
just,
lot of the adults and a lot of the people in power.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely see that.
It's pretty crazy. So, so what do you got coming down the pipe? What do you got coming down the creative lanes?
So what's exciting is In Love, the band I have with my fiance Amanda. We're going to be releasing our album in maybe like hopefully in October. It's looking like. So
Okay.
this will be our debut album, and we already filmed 2 music videos, which are coming out shortly. and we plan on filming the rest, 3 other music videos while we're here.
Okay.
And so we're just, we want to keep releasing, singles, like pretty much like every month or every other month. We want to just, keep that interest coming. And, I grew up, or I guess I was in a band a while ago in a time where the music industry was very different. So I've kind of spent this last year just like relearning the music industry, and because it's so different. And so
I feel like we got into music at a time where it was such a transition phase that most of us got lost in that. Like we did, like the newer generation. There's a lot of them that just kind of surpassed us because they grew up in the new way of things, and that's just how it's always been for them. Where I feel like a lot of us have gotten stuck in the old way still. Like there's still people I know looking for record deals and things like that. And it's like these developmental deals don't exist anymore. I mean, like you're just not gonna find them. And so it's interesting when you still find somebody who's still locked in that old way of thinking, and you're like, it's not gonna work now.
Yeah, and we almost had an opportunity here. Well, it's still like maybe semi on the table to like sign with a label here in Indonesia. Then I come to find out that the label deals here are like even worse than the US.
The deals seem to be less lucrative than in the States.
Yeah, and what's sad is most of the Indonesian artists don't know that it's a bad deal. So actually the labels, it's like a 70-30 split. So the labels take 70%, and it's not just of music sales. It's of ticket sales. It's of merchandise.
It's like the 360 deals.
It's like everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 60 deals.
Yeah.
Some of those, if you don't recoup, you owe them from future earnings of other jobs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Crazy.
Well, and the other thing that they don't, like if you're an independent artist here, I've noticed like some of the bands I know here don't know like how to distribute their music. And so they don't know how easy it is. And so to do it yourself. And so they hire someone to distribute their music online. And what happened to my friend's band is they got like seriously like hundreds of thousands of streams and literally got paid like 80,000 rupiah, Indonesian rupiah, which is literally like $5.
It's so disgusting.
So they had to finally they found out, they're like, that doesn't seem right. But they had already gotten all those streams, and so they had to like start over again, basically.
Yeah. Well,
they had to remove their album like from Spotify and all the distribution and redo it.
Oh, really? They removed it.
So they lost all the streams and everything too. Yeah.
Have you done it yourself, like through Spotify? How do you distribute it? Is it like CD Baby or?
I use DistroKid. I've found that that's the best price and the best distribution in my mind.
So what like thing do you do? You don't do the yearly thing, right? They have an option where it's like a one time and done.
No, it's annual, but it's unlimited.
Annual?
It's unlimited releases.
Oh,
so
really?
You can release as much as you want. Yeah, and it's only $20. It's only $20. It's only $20 a year.
I had Dub Hop Dallas up on there, and I mean, it was just one album, and it really didn't go very far. And then the renewal came, and I was like, all my other stuff is a CD Baby, and they're all paid for. I don't have to ever think about them again. So I like took it off of DistroKid, but I didn't realize that I could have just uploaded like my whole discography.
Yeah, you still could if you want.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're releasing a new album every year, the $20 a year isn't bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
It's like $60 or something like that to release
each album. And how much is it for a single? To release a single?
I don't remember. I've got one through there. I don't think it was a crazy amount. I think it was like 10 or something.
Yeah,
I
so it's a
don't remember.
one-time fee.
Yeah, but it is a one-time fee, and that's what turned me on to them. Like, I don't like all the recurring fees that just keep,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
um, there's too much to keep track of. You know what I mean? Like, there's not enough money and too many bills coming
yeah.
in.
No, it's true.
But I didn't realize that. But it sounds kind of like I mean, DistroKid puts it on Apple and Spotify and all of that other stuff. No.
Yeah, like it's up to like maybe 20 different sites now that they distribute to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, have you tried any of the other ones, or is that
I haven't, just from the research I've done, DistroKid seemed to make the most sense.
out of the gate, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. I didn't even realize they were around that long. Like, I didn't hear about them until like maybe 3 4 years ago.
Yeah, I don't think they've been around that long. I mean, yeah, my friend told me about it maybe like, yeah, like 6 years ago or something.
And that's when the light came out.
Yeah, it was like right before the light came out is when I found out about it.
Okay. So tell us what is there anything coming up you want to talk about? Anything you've got going on that you want people to know or hear?
Um, yeah, the main thing is just the look out for In Love's album coming out. It'll be everywhere online, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, you name it, it'll be there. So check out In Love. And yeah, I plan on continuing to put out solo music too, because I got too many songs that I don't know what else to do with. So I might as well put them out and share them. So you can check out my YouTube channel or Spotify and SoundCloud, and
All
have my music on
that.
all of that too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would love to. We've talked about. I mean, obviously, for those who know, we've done a collaboration way back when, from The Savior, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
that was something that you did. Tell me just a little bit about that project from your end. Like, where did that song come from?
That song. So that was That was actually the Indigo EP that I put out, which was before the light. That was my first solo release as a solo artist. And that song, it just kind of came from one of those like desperate feeling moments where you don't really know where else to go or what to do, or and just that feeling of desperation and looking for someone to save you. And that was kind of like before I started getting more into spirituality, when I thought someone outside of myself could save me.
Yeah.
And now I've learned that that's just not how it works. Like
Yeah.
it's all on you, you know. So that was
Yeah.
like me trying to like put it on someone else, like, hey, I can't do this, so can
Yeah.
you come save me? But I think too it was like just saying, hey, um just I want someone to just tell me it'll be all right, because sometimes that's all you need. Like
Yeah.
just that one person sometimes telling you, hey, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, I mean, just being nice and being there and present and being, a good person to people. Like, so many people, their interaction with people every day, all day is just negative. And so just to
Yeah,
be that light, just to be that person, to be like, hey, it's gonna be okay. That literally could be the making breaking point of somebody. So
yeah,
that song touched me in a way that I was like, this is amazing. I want to do something here.
yeah. I'm really glad that uh, that you wanted to do something with it. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I really hope, I mean, you've got a ton of stuff, man. Just send me something that you think maybe I would fit. I would love to do stuff in the
Sure.
future.
Yeah, we should collaborate more. for sure.
Absolutely. On both ends, I've got some things coming down the works that I'll send something your way and see how you feel about it. If there's something that you might find a spot, I mean, great. If not, no big deal.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So you've got some you got a performance or some videos that you're gonna share or a video?
Yeah, actually, this is good timing. I just had my friends take a few videos of me playing a couple songs off my latest album, The Darkness is the Light. I had him go over. We live in this really beautiful valley here in the mountains, so I had him bring a nice camera and shoot me live playing a couple songs in the valley with the backdrop as these like beautiful mystical mountains. So it's perfect timing. Like we literally filmed it over the weekend, and now I'm here, doing the podcast with you. So it's great timing.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Awesome. So what are they called?
The two songs are, one is called Kali,
Okay.
and I don't know if you've heard of Kali Ma. She's
I've heard, I don't, yeah.
she's a Hindu goddess, and she's known as the destroyer of the ego, and she destroys fear so that you can be more in the light. So that song is kind of like about calling on, calling on her to help bring in more light to our planet. Basically, it's like for the whole planet. It's a song to just call in the beauty and the love of the whole planet. And then the other song is called Before. And what Before is about, it's kind of an interesting song, kind of funny in a way, because it sounds like it's like a song about heartache and like losing someone. And it's not. It's like a much deeper song. It's about the separation we experience by being human beings. And so, wherever we come from, I believe we come from light and into these bodies. So before we came into these bodies, we didn't even know what separation was. So now in this reality that we're in, we experience it on a daily basis because physically it looks like we're not the same, So the song is about that feeling of separation that we all feel just from being human and being in these bodies, and how it can be upsetting at times, and how, we're kind of the only ones that can overcome it in ourselves, overcome that feeling of separation by just surrendering more into love.
So that's a common theme through and through. It's like realizing that it's up to you to make that change. Because nobody else is going to do it for you.
Yeah, the music that comes through me kind of, I don't even control what comes through, but a lot of what comes through is like empowering people, to be themselves and to be more in love.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, man. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you and talk with you.
Thank you. It's been awesome.
Thank you. I really look forward to seeing what comes, down the road for you, and I wish you the best of everything, because it really is an awesome thing to see you out there grinding and doing what you love. It really is. Well, it's inspiring, and I look forward to many more conversations on this level and collaborations and just seeing what comes for you.
I'm sending all that right back at you.
Thank you. I mean, it's challenging as a independent artist, and so when I see people that are on like the same level or higher than I'm at, I'm always intrigued to pick their brain and figure out where, because we all have a different path and how we get where we're at, and we all don't know what we've all done to get there. And so when we talk about it, we see a lot of the similarities and a lot of the things that we missed and those sort of things. So this whole experience of podcasting has been really great in that respect, because I get to talk to people that I admire and people that I look up to, and and that stuff. So I really
For
appreciate it,
sure.
man.
Yeah, of course. And what I always tell people is that there's there's no real secret to success or whatever dream it is that you want to accomplish. It's really just not giving up. The moment you give up is the moment it does happen. It doesn't happen. And if you believe in the law of attraction and things like that, what you put your energy into is what your life is going to be. And if you can have people who want to help you and believe in you and believe in your dream and will go in with you for it, that's like where the real magic happens. So thinking that we have to do it alone is the part that kind of holds us back sometimes too. But we get even just one other person who believes in us and who wants to help us get there, who has the same vision. It's like can change everything. So that's my advice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, man, have a great day, and I'll let you know when all this comes together, man. Thank you so much again.
All right. Yeah. Great chatting with
All
you.
right.
Thanks for
See ya.
having me on. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Kali, are you listening? Kalima, 'cause life is unfolding and I'm not sure if I am ready. Kali, are the flowers around your face depicting the fears that I must face? Kalima, help me embrace the change. One change, one embrace, and nothing's the same. One gaze into forever, and I'm saved. Kali, are you watching? Kalima, 'cause your third eye is open, and I'm not sure if mine sees clearly. Kali, are the skulls around your neck showing me the past that I must forget? Kalima, help me make the space. For a new age of miracles, a chance to create a new earth of ascended souls, and I'm saved. I am saved. I am saved. Kalima, 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 give me the courage to create a change that cannot be changed, a change that cannot be changed. Kalima, 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 Kalima. Kali, will you show me the way you dance, so I may move out of my cave and the darkness that I create. Kali, will you consume my fear and desire with your fierce feminine fire? Kalima, destroy me so I can be free. Destroy me so I can be free. Destroy me so I can be free. Before we came to be, before you were with me, before the suffering, we were happy. I'm tired of trying, I'm so tired of trying. I'm tired of trying, I'm so tired of trying. Before you were with me, I was here so naturally. Before I could wake up, we were happy. I'm tired of trying, I'm so tired of trying. I'm tired of trying, I'm so tired of trying. Now I wanna give up and give in to everything I said I wouldn't do again. Now I wanna freak out and shout on the top of this mountain, 'cause I'm so scared of losing myself. Before the doubt, before the fear, you were here and you were with me. Before the sadness, before the madness, I was happy and I was free. And I'm not trying, I'm just lying to myself. And the joy within me isn't from anyone else. I am free when I